Good afternoon. This is a trade recap for December 12th, day before the Fed speak tomorrow. So let's recap today's trade. So as you can see, we're up. We're in a very bullish market here, right? So just buyers coming in, right over here as well. You saw the flush early this morning, but then buyers came in, moving this market all the way up to this point right here. So my plan was basically my area of interest was this area right here, right? Because what's happening is it's breaking, it's coming into a pretty large point of control zone here, as well as a gap zone, as well as the value area high, right? As you can see over here, there's the VWAP, there's the point of control. So this is an area of interest where I like to go short. Now, a couple of reasons why I want to go short here. The point of control of this bar right here on the 15-minute, right, is at the top of the bar, right? So a lot of transactions occur right here. So basically sellers and buyers, there's a big buyer there just sitting there, absorbing, all the buy orders, right? That causes this massive wick here, right? Now, on a 5-minute chart, I don't have a setup yet. My setup is basically when the bar closes, it's a red bar, and the point of control is above the close of the bar, right? And this hasn't happened yet. It's about to happen. This is actually a not a ideal trade just because on the 1 minute, as you can see here, it's oversold, right? So anytime it gets below this momentum indicator down here, it's just oversold, right? So if I was going to take this trade, my target would be either pretty close to this VWAP on the 5-minute, or the tested zone right here. This is the point of control. It held right here. It came down, held this zone, pushed it up. Sellers came in. So if I was going to take a short, my target would be this VWAP area right here. Now, as you can see on the 1 minute, sellers are coming in, right? Now, the only thing about this is that you see these white bars here. These are like low volumes on the 1 minute, right? Not ideal, not ideal. And then over here, you'll see that buyers. It's just a lot of buyers here, but it's kind of declining a little bit. But on the 5-minute, it's also over, overbought, right? Because this momentum indicator is just way up here in the reds. So let's see what happens next. Okay, so far so good. The close is below the point of control. Criteria 1, down bar. Criteria 2, decreasing volume on the buyer side, check. And then on the 1 minute, increasing sellers, right? So as soon as this bar closes, I was about to take a trade, but I kind of hesitate a little bit because again, it's kind of a risky trade, right? Because you're pretty close, your target's pretty small here, right? At this VWAP. And then over here, you'll see that, you got declining, you're just oversold here on the 1 minute. So what I do is, rather than getting in immediate at the close of the bar, so as soon as this bar closes, I don't go in right away. I basically target the point of control of this bar here. So if it comes back, touches this point of control, I go short. And the purpose why I have the point of control of this bar as my entry is I got a little bit of a, you know, more of a profit area, right? Because it'll go, if it goes down, it gives me a little bit more room to hit the target, right? Versus trying to enter right at the close, which is a pretty small target, right? This is a pretty quick scalp here. Again, it's not an ideal scalp just because again, right here, just massively oversold. But the sellers are stepping in, right? Again, but again, this is very light volume, right? So not an ideal trade, but I decided to take it. So as soon as the bar closes, I don't enter right away because I see the risk here already, right? It's not, and I only use one contract, by the way, right? I usually go in with two, but in this case, I just did one just because a little risky. So here it is. So this bar close, right? The point of control is above the close, which is exactly what I want for a short. So what I do next is basically I wait for this bar here, this next bar, to go ahead and test the point of control. Depending on what it does here, if it just shoots all the way up, definitely I would cancel the order, but it didn't. I took the order right at the once it hits the point of control of that bar there. And then take a look at this right here. Do you see that as soon as it hits this bar here, this down bar on the point of control, do you see that the point of control on this next bar right here at the top of the bar, right? Which is, which is a good sign for short, just because a lot of transactions happening on the top of the bar, right? For short, which is ideal. And that's why I decided to go ahead and place my order right by where the point of control is, right there. Okay, again, on the 1 minute, same thing. Point of control is on top of the bar here. Transaction, a lot of, for this bar anyway, most of the buyers and sellers are selling at the top of the bar. On the short, that's a good thing, right? On the 15-minute, same thing. Point of control, the yellow line here is on the top of the 15-minute bar here. So I felt pretty comfortable with this here. My initial stop, again, because I use an ATM strategy, the stop will be placed just above this here. And then my target would have been at this point of control here. Now, again, this is kind of risky because you see this EMA, it's trending up, right? So not a lot of room here to wiggle. So, so yeah, my initial target would have been just right here on one contract because this is kind of a risky trade, not the A plus trade that I'm looking for, but given just the rollover date and the Fed speak tomorrow, the volume is going to be pretty light. So I didn't want to put in two contracts. And there you go. I'm in the trade. Move my target just right where the VWAP is. I take a little bit of a heat here. Again, I still see sellers coming in, right? So even though it's kind of declining volume, it's still coming in. Good so far. Point control has not moved down, which is good. A lot of transactions happening right where my entry is, which is awesome. Got a rejection wick here. That's good too. right? Rejection wick here, which is so far so good for the shorts. Big buyer, there's a big buyer here, right? Sellers still coming in. I don't like this where the buyers are on the 5 minute are coming in. So at this point, I'm still seeing so far so good on the short. Now I did see something spook me here where I was about to go ahead and just close out the position, but I still see sellers. Now I don't like the price action here. I was hoping on this bar right here it was a swoop down. It did not. So there's still somebody here trying to push this thing up here. So you'll see that. So there's a big buyer right here. So I'm kind of just eyeing it right now. So I move my target. I'm gonna stop just above this bar here. So the buyer's still here. I don't like this. The point of control shift, right? It's at the low of the bar, which is not a good thing. So I decided to later on just close the position just because it's getting a little, again, not a very, not the A plus trade I was looking for here. Very small target. Yeah, so I didn't like the price action there. This big buy right here. So I just decided just to close the position. So eventually it did come down, tested this VWAP. Now, at this point here, once it tested this VWAP here, that was the low pretty well, I think, of the day. And then it begins to go ahead and spike up. So I'll fast forward so you can see. This VWAP does get filled in. There you go. It filled it in. Now this is where the buyers come back in. Right? So I believe that was the low, I believe for the rest of the day. Let me just fast forward this. Yeah, so at the end of the day, yeah, this thing just skyrocketed up. So that was a good, actually, entry for the target. All right, so that's a summary for today's trade. So tomorrow is, I believe the Fed speaking, so it's going to be a pretty volatile day tomorrow. So I'll be on again tomorrow, 6:30 in the morning, if you guys want to see this live.